Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is D. McClung. That's me. And this is Archer Monologues, where I talk and you don't. You can applaud, you can laugh, you can make noises, but I can't hear you because it's like radio. All right? So, hey, there's a storm a coming. Let's hope not. Let's hope that all of this noise and uproar and ranting and raving and bullshit and arguing and bickering and hate and all of this just total nonsense that's going on in America today, let's hope it just stops or fades away, dies out, whatever, because, it's just pointless. People's lives are miserable, and it's disgusting that people should be miserable, particularly old people. When I say old, I'm older, okay? Meaning I'm not dead, I'm not decrepit, but I'm not a kid. And I can tell you the truth, with all honesty, I'm not anybody's child. Child meaning offspring, not something to do with age or the stage of human development that comes before adolescence and pubescence and adulthood and so forth. So the thing is, this constant flow of hate and vitriol and vile, disgusting name calling and accusations about every kind of thing. It's depressing. Why do you want to be depressed? Why would you want to be in that frame of mind constantly? It's just, it boggles my mind. For example, you've got these various social media sites, and I can't name them all, but there's probably some I don't know about. Facebook, YouTube. I guess YouTube could be considered a social media. I don't know. I guess it is. There's Parlor. I guess it's still around. I don't know. Told me it wasn't, but maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not going there. I actually belong to Parlor. Don't. I'm not sure even how to work the damn thing. But nonetheless, um, uh, is MySpace still around? I should probably check that out because I used to have an account with them too. Because I haven't heard from them lately. They still exist? I should check that out. Anyway, and if there's a comment section below this, like on YouTube, if you know about social media kind of places, aside from the ones we know about, like YouTube and Facebook and Tumblr. I like Tumblr, by the way. And what else? Oh, yeah. My favorite cesspool of social media, gab.com. Really. I'm not going to spend time right now lampooning Gab and the nutters that are on there, or the CEO, because, whatever. I get to it sometime. I don't even think it's necessary. But anyway, uh, really. Anyhow, lunatics. Um, but, but, speaking of Gab, I'm not saying, you shouldn't go there, or if you are there, you shouldn't be there, or if you go there, you're a cuckoo or a nut or anything, because, I go there occasionally, check things out. Oh, I forgot one, that one Twitter, which I do post things on sometimes, like my podcast is automatically posted there, and I don't go there and check it out much, because it's just, what's the point? Anyway, by the way, I don't like watch television, and because basically I don't have service where I live, and which is fine. I mean, if I want to watch a TV show, I can watch it on Roku or Hulu or Netflix or what have you. And no, I'm not going to cancel my Netflix subscription. I get a lot of enjoyment out of that thing. And I like movies. My wife likes movies. We watch movies. Every day we watch a movie or a TV show of some sort. Usually the old ones, and most often the British ones, like Midsummer Murders and a couple others that I like that were in some other countries in Europe that made some very nice TV shows that I enjoyed. Wife did too. So American TV shows, nah, not so much. Most of them are political propaganda and conditioning mechanisms to, condition people to accept bullshit and lies and garbage, and perpetuates a lot of like redneck stupid ideas. And I started to say shit and stuff like that. The thing is, these places, and Facebook too, to a large extent, though they've kind of censored that a lot lately, and it's kind of tried to sanitize it, so you don't really know what you can say and can't say on Facebook anymore, because I got blocked for like a week, or was it 30 days? 30 days for saying, you're a liar, quote unquote, you're a liar. And bang, 30 days I was off. Couldn't post, couldn't comment, for what? For saying you're a liar? I mean, that's not even cussing. That's not even obscene. I mean, I wasn't even, I didn't even add any adjectives to it, like, you're a stupid asshole or numbnut or nitwit, anything like that. It just, you're a liar, which I directed towards someone who was, in fact, a liar, because what he said is not true. And he should have known it wasn't true. I mean, anybody with half a brain would have known what he said wasn't true. Now, it's just not important what he said. But the fact is, I got kicked off for 30 days because, I called the guy a liar, because he was a liar. And I'm not allowed to do that? On Facebook? Really? Something wrong with those people. But the liar, oh, excuse me, did he get blocked for 30 days? Nope. That's insane. Someone can go on to Facebook and say a lie, as long as it's the acceptable lie, I guess. I mean, as long as it's a lie that's approved by the wacko-wackos that run Facebook and other elements of social control and manipulations. As Tom Woods says, the standard index card of approved opinions or something of that nature. And, I'm sorry, but when somebody could call me, I'm going to say the word. In fact, I'm going to say a couple of, I might edit a couple of them, because it even repulses me to say the word. But let's say this one here, people call me a pedophile. Now, obviously, they don't know what the word pedophile means. Why not? I mean, I know what it means. Do you think maybe because I know how to use a fucking dictionary? Yeah, a dictionary. It doesn't mean what they think it means. And why don't they know what it means? Why do they keep misusing the word? Because pedophile, you're a pedophile, you're a pedophile. You know, and they're even calling the President of the United States a pedophile. I mean, for fuck's sake. That's just stupid. Unfucking believably stupid. For one thing, ain't true. At least as far as we know. And let me tell you something. If you think you know something about the President of the United States, I'm talking about Joe Biden, not that other lunatic that's no longer president, in spite of the lunatics who, imagine that he is. If you think Joe Biden is a pedophile, you're insane. Seriously. That's just because you don't know him. I imagine there are very few people in this world that actually know Joe Biden well enough to decide if he is or isn't a pedophile or anything else. And as soon as you go on social media and you say Joe Biden is a pedophile, your credibility goes, okay, here we go. Let me see if I can find a good sound effect here. Your credibility goes. That's not exactly right, but a little bell goes off in my head when I read that or I hear you say that on social media. Your credibility goes to zero. Absolute zero. And anything you say, anything you've ever said, anything you ever will say is incredible, and I won't believe you. And I'll think you're a fool or stupid. And there are no exceptions here. None. Zip. Zero exceptions. All right? So, some lunatic, some moron who doesn't know what the word pedophile means says, you're a pedophile, D. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why would anybody do that? Why would he say that? This guy doesn't know me. This guy has never, ever met me in person. He is very likely has no clue what it is I do in my life, which is pretty dull by some standards. I mean, I've never been, a rock star. Couldn't come close to Elvis or the Beatles. Maybe Bob Dylan on a bad day. But seriously, you don't know me. You don't know what the word pedophile means, because if you did know, you wouldn't even think to say that, because that's just ridiculous. Oh, and just in case you're one of those people that doesn't know what the word means, it means a person who is sexually attracted to children. This is not debatable. You can't be fucking with the English language. It is what it is. The words mean what words mean. And the word pedophile means what I just said. And the word child doesn't mean a minor. It doesn't mean someone under 18. It doesn't mean a teenager or an adolescent. It means someone who, let's just say under 12. A prepubescent human being. And I'm going to tell you, and I know you're not going to listen, and you're not going to believe me, and you're not going to take it to heart. You're just going to ignore what I'm about to say to you. What I'm going about to say. What I'm about to say. I am not. I repeat, I am not a pedophile. Never have been. Never going to be. Because, you know why? Because I'm not sexually attracted to children. You know, those little kids like 6, 8, 10, 12, 4. Well, seriously. I mean, that's what the word means. There is no changing the meaning of a word just because you don't like it. And by the way, the word child has been codified in the United States freaking code book, law books, under Title 18, which of course is insane because, duh, that's wrong. Government can put the word in a law and just, it'll just mean whatever we want it to mean. And no. Now, there are situations in the laws where the government can actually use a word differently than the common meaning, but you have to put it right in the law and say, we're using this word to mean something else. You know, it's sort of like saying, I'm going to use the word person to mean a corporation. That's what they did when they passed various laws and regulations involving the income tax. I'll read the whole passage. This is from the law. This is not me making up shit. This is what it says. And I quote, for the purposes of the income tax, the word person or a person is a corporation. The word person means a corporation. So anytime you see a word person in the income tax laws or regulations, it's talking about a corporation. That's what the law says. And, you know, there are rules for laws. And they have to follow the rules to be laws. You can't just make up something out of thin air and, you know, the moon is made out of green cheese, and it's the law. I'm sorry. That law is not acceptable. I don't care how many people voted for it. It's not acceptable, and you cannot do that. There are a lot of examples of where the government does shit that's just stupid and wrong and illegal, unconstitutional, etc., which makes it illegal and an act of treason. Shall make no law under penalty of, you know, treason. So, at any rate, the word child means prepubescent human being. That means from birth to about the time they start, you know, girls start having their period. And maybe, you know, getting some breasts. Follow me? And when a boy can get a hard-on and then have an ejaculation, bingo. Not a child anymore. So okay, so there's that. So here's the thing I want to talk about. All of this bickering and arguing and calling people names and all that shit, which is totally ridiculous. They call me, it's another example. They called me what is it? Ignorant socialist commie, words that I can't repeat right here. Well, I could, but I'm not going to. One of them starts with an F and one of them starts with an N. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not an N guy because my skin color is not that color. My skin color is beige. So I'm definitely not an N-word guy. And I'm not saying the word here because I don't want to. It's a choice I made. I find it disgusting because most people who use that word are racist and redneck stupid and disgusting. And I had my share of that kind of experience with people like that in my life, and I just don't like it. Now, that doesn't mean you can't say it, but you can't say it to me, and you can't say it on the radio show because it's a one-way street. You know, I talk, you listen, or not. That's why it's called a monologue. So if you want to talk amongst yourselves and say, you know, the word all you want, I don't care. That's pure business. If I hear you say it, you know, you're not going to be my friend. And you're not going to be anywhere near me if I can get away. You know, just stay the fuck away from me. I don't want anything to do with you because you're a sick, disgusting piece of human shit. I don't want anything to do with you. Seriously. Now, there are exceptions. By the way, I knew a guy who used the word. And I spoke to him about it when I was in his house at the time. So I had to be careful and be diplomatic because, you know, you just have to be careful what you say to people in their own house. You know, his house, he can say what he wants. Yeah, that's true. But the problem with it is that he was being a racist and he was being hateful towards another human being who had never hurt him at all and never done anything to him and who was a beautiful child, an innocent child. And he used that word in front of her. And I had to tell him, I don't care, your house or not. I'm in your house. That child is in your house. The grandmother of that child is in your house. The mother of that child is in your house. And no, it's unacceptable. I was diplomatic. I was nice. I wasn't, you know, I didn't, you know, yell at him or anything. The thing of the matter is, this guy was like practically deaf. He had like hearing aids in both ears, and he still couldn't hear what you're saying. You had to yell at him, and he couldn't understand. Anyway, so whether he heard anything I said, I don't know. He was good at reading lips, as what I can tell, and I'm pretty sure he knew what I was getting at. But I tried to be polite. It was his house. If he had said it to me in my house or said that word outside in the yard or, you know, in the road or street, somebody sidewalk, whatever, I would have been a little bit more not diplomatic about it. But I liked the guy, and I didn't want to, you know, didn't want to upset him too much. But, you know, keep saying the word if you want. It's your house, your yard, whatever. Fine. But I don't like it, and I'm not going to listen to it. And I'm probably going to walk away from you. But that little girl is your granddaughter, and actually, great-granddaughter, actually. And there was no reason for him to act like that towards her. She was an innocent soul, and she didn't do anything to him, ever. And she actually liked him. She did. She liked him. So, because he was nice enough. But he used the word, and so that was just wrong. All right, that wasn't really what I wanted to talk about. The thing is, well, it kind of leads into it. The thing is, where do people get all these stupid ideas they talk about on the internet? You know, where do these people come off thinking that it's okay to call someone a pedophile who isn't a pedophile? Where did they get the idea that that's okay? Where did they get the idea? How did they get that in their head? That, oh, this is what it is, you know. How did they get the idea in their head that the word pedophile meant some guy, probably, who you know, was sexually attracted to a 17-year-old? I mean, where did they get that idea? Because somebody put it in their head. Because they heard it somewhere from another idiot that doesn't know what the word means. Or they heard it from the government that's trying to, you know, brainwash everybody into thinking the word child means something it doesn't mean. And it's wrong. And people should not do that. Seriously, it's just disgusting. It shows that you're not smart, that you're uneducated, and that you'll believe anything you hear. Where did you get this idea in your head? How did you get these stupid ideas in your fucking head? Seriously. I mean, I'm not even going to get into the vaccine thing and COVID thing at this point because, that'd take the rest of the show and the next show too, as far as that goes. So let's talk about, I'm concerned about the other things at this point. Where do people get these crazy ideas? Where do they get the idea that there's a God, for example? I'm pretty sure they got it from listening to older people, like their parents. Because you're not born with that idea in your head. I didn't even think about religion or God or Christianity or any of that stuff until, I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 or 9 years old. I remember at 11 saying, the universe goes on forever? Really? And then I decided, there, I'm an atheist. But I don't understand how people can let these ideas get in their head and not think these things through and reason them through and come up with something better in their head. For example, like I said, these people think that, oh, you're a pedophile. How did they get this idea that it was okay to, like I said, what makes you think it's okay to libel someone or slander someone? It's against the freaking law. I know, I'm not talking about criminal law, I'm talking about civil law. Libel, slander. You libel someone, you defame them, they take you to court, they win, you lose, you give them $1 million. With the internet, they haven't figured out a way to do that yet. I mean, I can't afford to go around suing everybody in the world. I just not enough money and not enough time. And I'm not going to waste the rest of my life. And, I don't have that many years left. God knows how many years I've got. Oh, God. I said God. Yeah, it's a figure of speech. It doesn't mean I believe there's a God, because I believe there isn't, because evidence. So what is the evidence? Don't even go there. So the point is, where do they get this stuff in their heads? I think they got it in their heads because they heard it, because they were taught this. By the way, that's why I think learning is better. Learn, and you're more likely to learn good stuff as opposed to being taught, which is like, indoctrination. And, it's just put in your head and then it's stuck in there for the rest of your life and you can't get rid of it because, you're addicted to lies and nonsense. I just wonder why. And they go, oh, president is a... No, he's not. There's no evidence that he is. And that's just, period. There's no argument there. Why would you even say such a disgusting thing? You have no game? That's the only thing you can come up with? How about this one? 800,000 children, go missing, disappear in this country, America, every year. Think about that. 800,000. You do the math. How many is that a day in this country? I'll give you a math equation here. 800,000 times 10 years is 8 million. Do you think that it's even possible any rational human being would say, what? 8 million children disappear in America in 10 years and nobody even notices it? Imagine that. Imagine being so dim-witted that you can't reason this out and think, what? So how much? That's 8 million in 10 years. Just in my lifetime, that'd be like 7 times 8. 56? Almost 60? Maybe 60 million children? And are they talking about children, or are they talking about everybody under 18? See, there's a little confusion there. Do they mean children really? Or do they mean children like in children and adolescents? I think they mean adolescents too, which means not children, children and adolescents. I'm sorry, but 60 million children have gone missing in America in my lifetime? And I've never heard of it until recently, that I didn't know about this. There wouldn't be any freaking children left. Because how many children are there in America? I think children under the age of 12, about 65 million. That would be equal to every child in America. Poof! Disappears. In my lifetime? Really? And you don't see there any problem with this figure of 800,000 a year? You can't even imagine that that's wrong? That's insane. Where did you get that idea? You read it on the freaking internet. You know you did. Did you bother to ask any questions? Did you bother to do any research whatsoever? Did you bother to listen to anybody else? Did you bother to look up the official statistics? Nope. You just repeated a lie that you saw on the internet. Or maybe, some friend of yours on Facebook or something. Yeah, no, that's fine. And then you just repeat it. And it's totally ridiculous. I don't know any children that have ever disappeared in my lifetime. In my lifetime. None. Zip. Zero. Zilch. Whether they're my family, my friends, my neighbors, or just people that I know exist in my town or even in my state. I know there are missing children. I know that that's true. Yes. Children come up missing, disappear. Most of them are like abducted by their non-custodial parent for reasons that are obvious. Because it's my child and I want it, and no, you can't have it. The court says it's mine. Blah blah blah, whatever. Which is another topic. But just be realistic here. $60 million people, 60 million children disappear in 70 years. And, the police departments in this country are not running around like searching every nook and cranny of the planet, trying to find them. Oh, they're covering it up because, those politicians like Biden and stuff are like taking them and eating them, murdering them and eating them and eating the children. Really? Really? Like I said, you believe that, your credibility goes to zip zero, and you're an idiot. And don't want to hear it. Just go away, go back under your rock. Seriously. But, so, like I said, how do people get these ideas? They heard it somewhere, and they are so desperate to believe something that they have to say, yeah, I believe that. But then again, somebody else, and how about this? The Holocaust was a hoax. It didn't happen. Yeah, really? If you believe that, zero credibility, go away. Don't bother me. Yeah, I'm totally not into some theories about conspiracies because there's some questions that I haven't got answered. Like, for example, if a plane crashed into the Pentagon on that day and there were 85 cameras supposedly around that building. How come we can't see one of those videos that shows a plane crashing in the Pentagon? How come we can't see 85 camera videos? How about the one in the gas station across the street that was confiscated within, minutes after it happened? How did the Secret Service or FBI or whoever even think to go to that gas station and confiscate his security camera that fast after it happened? Like what? I don't know, less than an hour, half an hour, something like that. Really? They had nothing better to do at that point? And what happened to the video? And why can the gas station guy say, well, I saw something on the camera here. I better take a copy of that and keep it so the FBI, if they want it, they can have it. But I'm keeping a copy so that I can expose this later and say, here, look, I got a video of it, and I wouldn't have to rely on the government telling me. I could listen to the guy with the gas station saying, here, I've got a video from my security camera saying, here, see, there's not an airplane. Well, if it was a plane, passenger plane, then his video probably would show that. Why can't I see that? Why can't we all see that? Why are they trying to keep that a secret? Why are they covering that up? Why can't we see that plane? Guess what? Their credibility, zero. So if you have if I have questions and you don't answer them, there's something funny going on there. Now, I'm not saying 9/11 didn't happen. It did. Something happened. But what exactly did happen? If the government tells me, there are passenger traffic, yeah, well, prove it. Show me the plane. It's that simple. Show me the fucking plane. If you don't show me, you don't have any credibility. I don't believe in a word you say. And very likely, I don't believe a word you say about anything. Follow me? Oh, what about the bullet in John Kennedy's, that's laying on a gurney on the hallway? Now, I don't know for a fact that's true. I'm not believing that it's true just because somebody said it's true. But still, nobody's answered the question. What about that bullet? And why was it not in his head or whatever? Why was it just laying there in the hallway on a gurney? Or was there a bullet? Is there a bullet? Or was there a bullet? Or isn't there a bullet? Someone says there's a bullet. Where's the bullet? Explain these things. Tell me. Give me some facts here. Building number 7. Looks like a demolition to me. Prove it. Prove it wasn't. See what I'm saying? One more thing. Van Allen belts. There's such a thing as the Van Allen belts that goes around the earth. Now, I don't know a whole lot about the science of that, but it seems to me like those Van Allen belts are radioactive or some damn thing. And if you fly through them as a human being or something, if you go through those, like on your way to the moon, you're going to have side effects. I mean, you're going to have serious bad effects from going through those belts. Now, maybe I don't know the whole science of this. Maybe I don't know the whole facts of it. But I'm asking NASA, how did you deal with that problem? Now, I'm not saying they didn't figure out a way to go through the Van Allen belts safely and come back through them safely from the moon. I'm not saying they didn't land on the moon. I'm not saying they didn't. I don't know. The evidence seems to say they did, kind of. So, and it doesn't matter to me if they did or didn't. They did, fine. They didn't, whatever. But, what about the Van Allen belts? How did you deal with that? You know what? Crickets. Not a word to answer that question. Why not? I mean, I asked the freaking astronaut himself in person, down at NASA one time when I went to visit. What about the minute? And he just changed the subject, walked away. Really? He was up there. He knows. He went there and back. How did he not get radioactive poisoning or whatever it is the Van Allen belts does to you? And he just walks away? He just turns his back on me and starts talking to someone else. Doesn't even think about my question. Doesn't even give me a word about it. Nothing. Just 0, 0, 0, 0, nothing. Well, that's kind of funny. He was answering other questions. It was his job. That's why he was there. Okay? So that's the conspiracy theory thing. Right? Somebody put this in my head. Okay. Aliens abducted me out of my bedroom in the middle of the night and did, anal probe me and shit. Wait a minute. Has this happened how many times? Like 10,000 people. Really? And not one person has a security camera to capture this happening? Not one? Absolutely no evidence. It's just my word for it. Well, I don't believe you. Evidence, or it didn't happen. Prove it, or I ain't gonna believe you. Not that many people. 10,000? Nope. There are 10,000 people is not a lot of people when you think about it. How many people believe in God or Jesus, work miracles and shit? Millions, maybe billions. So 10,000 wackos? Doesn't really impress me. All right, gonna wrap it up here, and I'll continue with this line of thought in the next episode, probably. And just remember, if you like this, if you enjoy it, if it gives you any kind of knowledge or enlightenment of any kind, share it with your people. Please do that for me. Why? Because I asked you to, and I'm a nice guy, and you're a nice person. Just do it. Okay? So, Demon Clung here. Archer Monologues is the game where I talk and you don't. Oh, you can make comments down below if there's a comment section, which is fine. If you say something stupid, I'm going to delete you. Yep, because if you have zero credibility, you're done. All right? So, have a good day, good night, and tomorrow. See you later. Bye-bye.